As part of its unprecedented stimulus efforts in recent years, the Federal Reserve also went out and embarked upon an immense buying program, buying about $3.5 trillion of bonds, which are now on its balance sheet. So can you talk a little bit about the Fed's plans for that? Are those going to stay on the balance sheet? Will they eventually sell those? And if so, what impact is that likely to have on the market?
The Fed's balance sheet is now a major tool that will be used for years to come in them implementing monetary policy as a way for them to balance the liquidity that they want in banks and the reserves that they want banks to hold. So it's not going to go back to the small size that it was prior to the financial crisis. It'll become smaller than it is, but it's not going to go back to $200 billion in size. It's going to remain sizable for, I think, the rest of my investment career. And some of it will be wind down. Some of those bonds will mature and roll off. It's unclear what impact, if they had to do a large sale, it would have on the market. I think we can all guess what that would be, but that's not anything that they expect to do. Right now, they continue to think of it as a tool to use going forward in implementing monetary policy.
So would that be a tool that they would use if they wanted to slow things down, or when would they use that?
And obviously, their worry long term is that if they don't get the Fed funds rate back to a level where it can be a tool, they may have to reinstitute some level of quantitative easing. But they can use it as in a number of ways in the repo market and so on to implement putting money into banks and extracting money from bank reserves. Now they're going to start paying banks for their reserves. It's going to become a profit center for banks going forward. And so there has to be collateral in the repo market for them to use, and they will use it in some ways in that. They've already experimented with that in a number of ways. We frankly don't know how that's going to work on a large scale when they start to implement it. And we will see. They've done it on a small scale and it's worked fine.